but you and I both know that I can't run a middle grade themed podcast and not ask you at least a little bit about the cover for Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. So I promise to be brief, but that you designed the cover. It was your first professional commission, and something I saw you'd said about it was that it was an image that is as much something for you to live down as it is something to be proud of. So what has that experience been like for you?
Yes, well, just to briefly explain, I did the cover art for the UK edition of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and it was my first job out of art school. So it was 96, that would have been. It was published in 97. And I left art school in 95. So it was, for me at the time, it just meant my first professional job. I had landed this job. I had to do it professionally. I had to deliver it, get it handed in, and hit the right professional standards. So that I was preoccupied with that. Had no idea the book was going to be super successful or go on to be mega successful. I mean, incredibly successful. I had no idea about that. So it took me by surprise that this first job I did, even though I didn't write the book, I just did the cover art, but that cover image just seemed to travel on far beyond where everything else in my career was, and it seemed to overshadow everything. And even now, I mean, I still get a lot of contact from people about it. And just today, I've been in touch with a collector who in touch to see if I've got anything left over from that time I'd like to sell. Will I sign things? And I get a lot of that. And for a long time, I just found it was in the way. It got in the way of my active career. But over the last few years, I think I've made peace with it, and I've just found a way to live with that running concurrently. Because it is an important thread in my career, and it's a great line on my resume. It's an important thing that but it's taken me a long time to sort of come to terms with it, because I can't even paint that way anymore. I don't even work like that anymore. So it feels almost like someone else has done it. And yet I still get contact from people who only want to talk to me about that, and who are amazed to hear I've written other things or done other things. And I think when you have a career where something stands out and it's just way, way, way off the scale compared to everything else, that can be a very imbalanced career, especially over time. And yeah, it's taken me a bit of time to find a way to live with it, if you see what I mean. I think that's what I meant in that line that you quoted.
It seems like both something wonderful to have happened, and but when I read your essay, I was like, oh, that makes me feel almost bad that you would have gone in thinking, oh, this is just a job. Because I'm assuming that when you held the manuscript, it didn't glow. There wasn't like a soft, eerie noise that accompanied it.
No, in fact, I mean, I feel stupid because I had the manuscript a year ahead of the book being published. It was a version that was still being edited by the author and the publisher, so I had an early version of it. It was printed out. I had it in paper. Chapter 11 was missing because the author was revising it. I read it and I enjoyed it. And then I did the picture, and then I threw away the manuscript because I finished the job and it was just this big stack of paper that was in the way. And I didn't really keep much. I mean, I kept a few things, but that manuscript would probably have some worth now, or certainly some interest to a Harry Potter collector to see how it differs from the final text. But yeah, I mean, I had no idea that it was going to be such a big deal. So if I had known, I mean, maybe I would have been too intimidated to do the work. I don't know. It was my first job, perhaps, but and it was a different time. It was an analog time. I mean, it was all painted and then taken by hand. I took it in personally to hand it into the publisher because it was my first piece. I wanted to make sure it got there safely. There was no digital element at all. It was just a painting. Whereas now, of course, I would work. I use sort of Photoshop, and it's a very different process now. It's a different world back then. 96, a different planet.
Yeah, practically. I mean, heck, 96. We didn't have cell phones at the point, did we?
I didn't have one, but they were. I remember seeing them, but yeah, I didn't. Personally, I didn't have one until about 2000, I think. So.
Then it probably been like those Michael Douglas and Wall Street giant half a helmet phones.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah.
Well, that's it. I promised a couple of people that I told I was going to talk to, like, I will ask him about it, but by golly, we're going to talk about Malamender because I am absolutely in love with this